Simply again D Aluwalia. What would I like to discuss today? Guys, we all are talking about trade courses. It's easy to get PR through trade courses. I have done some videos before as well to discuss about trade courses and why it is easy to get PR through trade courses. But guys, there are some very important critical things which you do need to understand about the trade courses. So firstly, let's start about what trade courses we are talking about, which are more popular at the moment. Generally speaking, we are talking about courses like cookery chef, automotive panel, which is panel beaters, diesel mechanics, light motor vehicle mechanics. In construction, you can get a lot of different occupations: painting, bricklaying, plumbers, glazer, roof tilers, carpentry, which is one of the most common one. Okay, now also childcare as well, guys. So now these are the trade courses, and when we are doing trade courses, of course we generally do Cert 3, Cert 4, leading to a diploma. So you at least study for the period of 2 years. Now guys, what is important? All right, what is important in my view, if you really want to get your permanent residency through trade courses, in my view, the first and the most important thing, guys, is that you start working in the trade from day one. From day one. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it later in this video of why I feel it is important to work in your trade course from the day one. Now, before that, once you have done your trade courses, how you're going to move towards permanent residency. So generally, guys, once you finish it, depending upon what trade you are doing, either you're going to do Cert 3 or Cert 4, or a combination of Cert 3 and Cert 4. Again, as I said, depending upon what trade you are doing. Now, once you're doing your trade courses, all right, now you would need to apply for your provisional skill assessment. Okay, you will need to apply for your provisional skill assessment. You need to make sure that your trade occupation falls in that 485 JW list. Okay, now while you're doing to get your provisional skill assessment, guys, you need to have 360 hours of work experience in the same trade. Once you have your 360 hours of work experience, after finishing your 360 hours of work experience and finishing your 2 years of study, you would need to apply. You will get your provisional skill assessment. Once you have your provisional skill assessment, you will need to start your job ready program. Now, when you do your job ready program, it is in 4 stages. The first stage is to apply for the provisional skill assessment. To apply for the provisional skill assessment, you will need 360 hours in your occupation. Alright, once you have done that, then you will need to start your job ready program with your employer. Now, that has to be it's not necessarily when you have already got your 485 visa, which will be for the 18 months in your circumstances. What you need to do is, you can even start this before that, as long as you have your provisional skill assessment and you have completed your studies, or you are about to complete your studies. You will need to work with your employer for the period of 12 months, and you need to clock in 1,725 hours. That is 1725 hours. Once you have done that, you meet the second requirement. Then you go on the third one, which is job ready workplace assessment, guys. Now, job ready workplace assessment is the assessor will come at your work and they will see that you are working according to the requirement of the occupation. Okay, and this is also, guys, many times I do talk to you that it is very important. It is very important to work in your trade, learn the trade, get the skills done. Once you have done that, once your assessment has gone through, then the 4 stages, job ready final assessment. Once you have your final assessment, that means you have your skill assessment, which is critical, which is very critical. All right, without your skill assessment, you would not be able to apply for a permanent residency. Also, guys, it is very important for you to look into where you are, in which state you are studying. Again, all right, put it this way. It is very important for you to educate yourself. Now, in my opinion, guys, as of today, it is the most difficult state to do a trade course and to get your PR straight away would be Victoria, because Victoria state, in generally speaking, is not sponsoring trades. And so what you're left out with? You're left out with Subclass 189. 189, what we are looking at, 80 points or 85 points. It is difficult, guys. It is difficult. So you really got to think about it. Now, you don't need to lose your hope. You don't need to lose your hope. What you need to understand is, of course, yeah, I know a lot of you, I myself, I live in Melbourne. I love it. All right? And a lot of you already fall in love with Melbourne. You don't want to go out in Melbourne, but you need to understand what it would take. It is not impossible because, as long as your occupation is on a medium to long-term list, it is possible, but it might not be a straight route. You might have to go on a 482 visa, all right, which is a work visa. But now, if you want to go on a 482 visa, you need to have 2 years of work experience in your occupation. That's again now what we are talking about. Okay, so we are talking about the trade courses. We understand now kind of like, what does the trade courses require. We understand that, you want to do the trade course which is on a medium to long-term list if you're looking to get permanent residency. Now also remember one thing, your course only need to be on a medium to long-term list if you're thinking to get your permanent residency and stay in the metropolitan areas. Now from 14th of November, guys, what is the definition of metropolitan areas? So the Department of Home Affairs have made things simple. So the metropolitan areas are Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth. Other than the whole Australia is a regional area, okay? Now, when we talk about these main cities, and that's where most of the students are living as of now, all right? Or that's where you are as of now, okay? Now, I would like to start with Victoria, okay? If you're living in Victoria, guys, unfortunately, it is very tough, Just go on Google, type in state sponsorship Victoria, go on Victoria list, look at it, what occupations Victoria is sponsoring. In my view, hardly there's any occupation in trade which is Victoria is sponsoring. So if Victoria is not sponsoring any trade, so what it means, there's no 190, there is no 489 is anyway, this sort of, it's finished up, and it's going to be 491 anyways, it's not going to apply in Victoria, so mainly you're looking at 190, all right? Victoria, if now, that doesn't lose your hope, okay? Don't lose your hope in that regards, okay? If you still want to live in Melbourne, there is a pathway. The most important thing is, yes, your occupation has to be on a medium to long-term list if you want to get permanent residency in Victoria. Now, this is the pathway, guys. This is what you got to do, all right? If you are in Victoria, all right, of course, you do a job ready program and you start working in your trade for day one. And I'll tell you why you should start working in your trade for day one, because you would need the work visa 482. Now to get the work visa 482, there is a requirement that you would need to work on the occupation for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. So what does that mean, guys? So you would have a student visa for the period of 2 years, okay? You would have your student, and you can only work 20 hours a week or 40 hours a fortnight. So in a nutshell, if you've been working the whole 2 years in your trade, you will clock in 1 year on a pro rata basis, okay? So you got 1 year there, then you have your another 18 months on your another 18 months on your 485 visa, okay? So the whole time span is 2.5 years. You're not 100% sure that you're gonna start working in that, you gotta leave some sort of a margin. So in a nutshell, if you have 2 years and if your employer is willing to sponsor you, then you can get on a 482 visa. Once you get on your 482 visa, then you can work on a temporary stream for 3 years, and then your employer can sponsor you for 186. Or if you have 3 years of full-time work experience and your skill assessment, which you would already have doing this part of it, then you can also go on 186, which is a permanent visa. This is how I see it in Victoria. Now guys, if we talk about other metropolitan cities, okay, if we talk about Sydney, I have an office in Sydney as well, I got an office in Brisbane too. What I see is, and I have a lot of clients from there as well, in my view it is much more easier, to get on 190, or which will be 491 in the coming time from November, to get sponsored by the state. It's much more easier, all right? Look at that. So also, so when you're looking, when you're doing, depending where you are living in, what the state requirements are, that's how you should build your strategy. All right, and that is why I say it is very critical from day one to start working in your trade. Very, very important, guys. Get your skill set, because, and remember one thing, guys, all right, if you have good skills, all right, if you fix your trade, if you become a tradie in your trade, there is actually, why you think these occupations are on medium to long term list? Because Australia needs, there is a shortage of these occupations. That's why Home Affairs, that's why they have put these occupations on medium to long term list. So if you get skill, that's what I say to my clients, all right? If you get skills, the PR will follow you. You would not need to follow to the PR, all right? There would be employers who would be willing to sponsor you. They would love to sponsor you. It's not difficult. What is important is learn your trade. Learn your trade. That is very critical, all right? Now, we are there to help you out. If you like my video, all right, please subscribe me on YouTube, you know, please like me on Facebook, share it with your friends, and call our office. You can call us on 1300-307-451, and we are more than willing to help you guys. We are more than willing to give, you know, take your questions and try to help you in each and every way. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep throwing some good videos. I will try to do my best to guide you, to educate you, so you can actually make better decisions for yourself. All right, okay, goodbye for now, guys. Take care.